Protoss here, the Up and Downs 2013 Season 1 in Code S. Let's do it.
Our first Protoss player spawns to the left side in red. LGIM's Protoss player not winning a single map today. This is his last game. Can he bring down
LGIM YongHwa?
No, I was actually saying, but can he bring down the boss toss? But yeah, that's of course him, YongHwa, the all-killer.
The all-killer, but today he has looked like a toothless giant. Not able to take a bite out of anybody. His opponent to the right side, though, the Protoss president, at least formally, he is.
SKMC.
Needs a win.
That was the most silly analogy that you ever made. The toothless giant. So what? He can still completely just squat you. He just goes and grabs a tree and hits you, and you're dead anyways. I don't care if he has teeth or not.
But he still can't eat anybody. I mean, he could if he like grind him up in the soup.
He can still kill me.
It's true, but
there's no but.
I don't know what if he's if he can kill somebody, he can't eat it. He's still gonna starve to death. Listen.
Yeah, well, maybe he can.
You're not thinking long term here.
Why not long term? He can just get like soup.
Where? There's no Kim Up Chungus where giants live, man. What's he gonna do?
How would you know?
Actually, that's a good question.
You haven't been to giant fairy tale country, whatever.
I have not been to giant country fairy tale, whatever. I haven't visited it yet. But
should though.
No, actually,
it's awesome.
When I said toothless giant, I realized at that moment that I meant to say like toothless crocodile or something like that, but we have double gas for YongHwa, the 2-in-2 build, so he's gonna have a slightly better gas economy than MC, just initially. And this is gonna be something that allows him to tech slightly faster. You can see at this moment in time, he's pulling ahead in gas only a little bit. It's just a slight variation. It's all about what you want to do. MC, on the other hand, has a second gateway, so that's where his minerals go.
Do you know why the wildcard group was introduced?
Because someone drew a wildcard in Uno and thought it was a good idea?
No.
Oh, okay, so tell me.
GOM realized that I was so awesome with doing the math every up and downs, and that I always got it right, that they had to add another element to make
challenge.
it more difficult for me. That's the real reason. Guys, if anyone else tells you something different, they are just lying to you. So they nearly got me when I said that Flash didn't have a chance anymore, but yes, he still does. If MC loses here, then Flash is still in a position where he takes third.
You're the master.
We talked about it between the games, so if you're just watching the VOD right now, all this analysis has been done before, but we can just go through it again. Currently, we have Yoda out of the group already. If YongHwa wins here, it means that for YongHwa it doesn't matter what happens here, but if YongHwa wins, then the second place goes to Jaedong and the third place goes to Flash. Flash will be in the wildcard group. If MC wins, he advances together with Yoda and Jaedong takes third place, which would mean that Jaedong is in the wildcard group and Flash is in Code A. Short summary of the standings for the group today. While we see the Nexus going down for MC a little bit later. Actually, significantly later.
Both players basically doing the same thing, except with the sentries being made a little bit faster for MC, but the Nexus a little bit later. Robotics a little bit earlier for YongHwa. It looks like, just in general, YongHwa is cutting more corners with his Nexus, so that actually makes him ahead in this case. MC doesn't really... Does he even know it? He doesn't see the Nexus, so he doesn't actually know. So this is always uncomfortable in Protoss vs. Protoss, because a lot of the time in mirror matchups, getting ahead involves taking more risks than your opponent, and in PvP it can be like this. PvP has evolved a lot, but you know, back in the day, even at the beginning, it was like, well, 4-gate or not, or whoever takes the most risks, and now it's a little bit more complex than that. But when both players don't attack, of course the player who takes bigger risks is gonna get ahead, because the other opponent's not attacking him. How can he lose?
Yeah. And talking about attacking, on this map you have a couple of options, and we went through most of them already earlier, but one of the things that we see very often here is of course a Blink Stalker build, which MC even used against the Terran player when he was facing Yoda on this map. This time both of them just decide to go into an expansion play, and as Wolf already explained, just go straight into a normal macro game. We have the robotics play for YongHwa up a little bit earlier than for his opponent. MC and YongHwa both adding here the first few immortals, and now exactly the same thing happening for MC. He's always a little bit later with what he does, but in the end this is most likely not gonna affect the match too much.
Yeah.
Unless one of those players is able to hit like a perfect timing that he doesn't even know about.
Exactly. I mean, there's basically no timing that exists that with this map distance where you can walk a Colossus across the map faster than the build time difference here. Oh, actually, YongHwa starts a Warp Prism and Warp Prism speed, so we're going to see something completely different.
This is pretty cool. This is one of the things that you can do if you go for immortal drops and do a little bit of damage. And YongHwa is one of those players that definitely has the micro to pull this off. MC decides not to go for it.
Yeah. This kind of build is really... I don't want to say it's... I try to think of a good term for it, but they're both going for this now. And when you have both players going for this type of build, I don't want to say it's hit or miss, but it's like, who executes this the best is going to get ahead. Because if you struggle to deal with your opponents while you are trying to micro yours, and then you lose not only a bunch of probes in your main, but then you also lose your Warp Prism, things can snowball out of control really, really fast.
The funny thing is that this actually, you know, these timing difference that we talked about are now in favor of YongHwa, because this is really the situation where MC finds himself a little bit in a weird spot. He's starting to do his own immortal drop, while YongHwa is already in his base doing it.
Yeah. Starts to make a really big difference here. Several probes going down, he's actually even going to get this pylon.
And he's going to fall behind here, and he was also spotted. Ah, this is brilliant. This is really good for YongHwa here.
That was actually really cool. He decided to stick around a little bit longer because he saw that was mostly sentries, so he couldn't really kill the Warp Prism.
And this is now getting really difficult for MC.
He can't start range until that pylon finishes, but YongHwa's actually going for blink instead of range first, so he wants to just actually have a little bit more of a mobile force. And MC's doing a little bit of damage himself, but not quite as much.
Yeah, Harvester's killed so far is even, but the pylon, of course, affecting things quite a bit.
He's actually going to take out the Stalker here. He wants to, but he just does some damage. There's a little bit too much more. Uh-oh. Oh, he's going to lose it.
Oh, wow. This is bad news.
That
very well played by MC.
Yeah, that turns things around for MC very nicely.
That was an awesome trap. That was him really setting a trap for YongHwa, and YongHwa flew right into it. Very well done.
Admiral Akbar is sitting at home with, you know, he dropped his bag of chips on the ground. He saw that one coming, but YongHwa did not. Now, a lot of Chrono Boost being used here, of course, for both players, just using it on different things. Forge coming up for YongHwa. MC, on the other hand, wants to hit a timing attack, actually, right now. And I'm not so sure this is going to work, but the Warp Prism is certainly going to help. You know, he wants to have an angle with those Immortals against the Colossi of his opponent, and that Speed Warp Prism is definitely going to help him out here. The Zealots draw the army back into the main. This is another great trap by MC, and here come those Immortals. He wants to get them so they can actually fight the Colossi. Remember, YongHwa has Blink. That's something to consider here. He can actually go for it. So many of those units are in the main base. He's got a better army here.
He has a really great army here. The units from the main base finally coming in and blinking on top of the Colossus.
He needs to target them. He does.
The Colossus is gone. The first Colossus for YongHwa is dead. The second one being attacked. The Immortals are dying, and he saves the Colossus.
Yeah, more Zealots warping in here for MC. YongHwa has that Colossus on the high ground. But MC, it looks like he may have too many units. It's so close here. Once again, that Colossus, he gets it.
He gets the Colossus, and the second one is still on the ramp. He's trying to do damage. The Colossus is still alive, but he moves forward a bit too much. And now the Stalkers are being attacked by probes even, as YongHwa throws everything that he has against MC.
How does he do it, man? He's actually microing two different groups of units. One group chases down the other Stalker. The other one runs away from probes and kites them. How many hands does he have? Last time I checked, he had 2, but it's hard to believe. MC is up 30 supply here. He shuts down the robotics.
MC will go to Code S if he takes the game. Flash would drop to Code A, and Jaedong gets a chance in the wildcard group. This game is over. GG! MC is in Code S. MC and Yoda, they advance. Flash is in Code A, and Jaedong has another chance on next week's Friday in the wildcard group.
What a sick game. Unfortunately for YongHwa, he takes a pretty embarrassing 0-5 score in the group. But you know, that was a pretty cool attack by MC. That's how Warp Prisms of Speed aren't really being used just yet, but man, when you see that, how he flies in there and drops Immortals on top of Colossi and targets them, and then uses the Warp Prism to micro some of his units, also warps and Zealots on top of Stalkers, which is more cost efficient than trying to fight with Stalkers against Zealots. If your Zealots are fighting the Stalkers, that's what you want. That was pretty awesome.
Really well done by MC, especially in the last fight, taking down all those Colossi of his opponent, especially that drop of the Immortals that you just mentioned. That was really what won him the game. If you fight this like front army against army and give your opponent the chance to save those Colossi in the back and shield them with the rest of your army, then MC would have lost. But with this Warp Prism and the drop of the Immortals,
he also trapped his opponent's Immortal drop.
Yeah.
That means it's 2 less Immortals in general. It also means he can't be backstabbed or threatened by that. So as soon as he realized that, he was like, I have 2 more Immortals than you. I'm already in the middle of the map. I'm going to take you out here.
And we are going to have a quick look at the match results of today to give you an overview of who advanced. Here we have all of them. We have Yoda and MC going to Code S. And as mentioned before, Jadon gets another chance on next week's Friday. YongHwa, Vampire, and Flash, they have to play in Code A next season.
Yep. Very unfortunate circumstances for them, but I think Jadon fans everywhere know that he's got another opportunity. Probably going to be happy being able to rest on that.
Flash losing today against Jadon and MC. Unfortunately for him, exactly the players that he in the end had a good shot of not being tied with.
Yep.
These are tomorrow's players. Happy, Shine, Tasia, Trap, Squirtle, and Dream.
Yep. And that's, of course, the newly teamless Shine.
Yep.
Really
GSL
excited.
Disbanded.
Really excited to see how Squirtle does tomorrow. I think he's got a lot to prove. He's been a little bit shaky as of the past few months.
Tasia as well, not being shaky, but how he does tomorrow, that's going to be really incredible. He's of course one of the players that most people expect to get out of the group. But if you just had a quick look at what happened today, a lot of people would not have expected it. Yoda taking the entire group without a problem at all. It was surprising to a lot of people, even though he did well in the last Code S season, because it was such a stacked group today.
Yeah, it really was. It's Legend's birthday, by the way, so make sure you send him a tweet at, I think it's StarTale_Legend right now is his Twitter.
Did he change it? Wasn't it
He changed it from GSL Observer. I think it's ST_Legend or StarTale_Legend. You guys can find it, but whatever it is, tweet at him happy birthday. Because it's his birthday today and he does a good job observing, and I know you guys like him, and if you knew it was his birthday, you would have tweeted, but now you know, so you can tweet. It's just the natural order of things.
Definitely make sure to give him a shout out. And guys, we'll end things for today. We will be back tomorrow with the next group, with Group B in the up and downs. We have an entire week of StarCraft 2 ahead of us with amazing players, and don't miss out on it. Tomorrow we'll be back at 6:10 Korean Standard Time. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.